What's going on YouTube? Back here with another video today. In today's video we are working on the Lightning. So as you can see, we've made some progress with the truck. We have the TVS bolted down, everything's torqued, and the blower is officially in. We can't really go any further with the intake setup until we get the fuel system leak tested, and that's what we're going to be doing here in just a second. If you guys didn't see this video, we built a full custom fuel system for the Lightning, all nice and fittings, Fragola push lock line, everything's good to go. But now we're going to be doing a pressure and leak test to make sure none of the fittings and connections are leaking, and then we can move on to getting the rest of the intake set up and finishing the TVS install. So that's what we're going to be doing first. We're going to leak test all these fittings before we put more stuff in the way. We did kind of run some vacuum lines, and I'll go over that too in a little bit, but first I want to get to leak testing the fittings. As you can see, what we did, we just took some dry clean paper towel, unscented. We're going to wrap them around, well, we already did, but we wrapped them around all the connections. Any point that it's connected where you can have a possible leak, we wrapped them in paper towel. That way we're going to turn on the key, we're going to jump the pumps, set the pressure to about 25 pounds of pressure in the lines, let it run for a little bit, and then see if the paper towels have any gasoline on them. Should be an easy way to tell. I'm not sure if there's an official way to do a leak test. This is just what I came up with. I figured you'd definitely be able to smell the gasoline and see it on the paper towel, and we'll know if we have a leak or not. All right, so I'm sure you can hear the fuel pumps running. The key is on in the truck, and we jumped the fuel pump relay right there. It's the two far connections with the jumper wire, and that tells the fuel pumps to run. Like I said, we set the regulator to keep about 26-ish pounds in the rails. You just want some pressure in there, it doesn't really matter. And we're gonna let those run, and then we will pull the paper towels and make sure they're nice and dry. Hopefully I fixed it. I've already done this a couple times, and that back Y fitting, the paper towels kept having gasoline on them. They were a little wet, not real bad, but just enough to where I was like, man, I don't want any leaks on this thing. I mean, just a little seepage is not good. So I did end up having to pull this rail off, tighten all the fittings real nice, put the rail back. I even redid one of the fittings and replaced it because I kind of rounded it off, being stupid with an adjustable wrench. So don't do that. But luckily I had extra fittings and I fixed it. So anyways, we're gonna let the pumps run for a little bit, and then we're gonna pull these paper towels, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they're nice and dry so we can move on with this TVS install. I like to get the intake setup done today, show you guys the throttle cable bracket, get everything hooked up, everything sealed up and nice. We're gonna finish the vacuum lines, and we'll go over all the vacuum line routing, all that good stuff. But the first step is getting this thing leak free. Very important with fuel systems. You don't want fuel to leak, especially if it's anywhere near exhaust. It's just not good. So anyways guys, we're gonna let this run for a little bit, check these paper towels, see what we got. Okay, so everything's leak tested and we are good to go. No more leaks. At first we did have a fitting on the bottom of the Y fitting. There's a straight fitting like this that connects to the bottom of the Y, and then it splits off into the two lines. Well, we did have an issue with it seeping past this little rubber piece here. Basically, I guess how that kind of floats there, it wasn't sealing properly. So we did have to pull the rails up a little bit just to get on that fitting, tighten it up a little more, put everything back together, tested it again, and we are good to go. No more seeping. And when I say it was seeping, I mean it was like 5 minutes with a paper towel around it. You take the paper towel and there was a little splotch. But to me, that's enough. I didn't want to run it. So we pulled it apart, fixed it, and we are good to go. No more leaks. So that's done. We extended our TPS wiring off camera. Did that, I think, last weekend. And all you do for that is basically you have your TPS harness. It goes to your IC, and then there's the other clip for your throttle position sensor. And you just cut the wiring for the throttle position sensor, take some 20 gauge wire and solder it in between to extend this around so it can reach the new location for the throttle body. So we did that, of course, all nice wrapped in Tech Flex. Well, I really like this stuff. It gives a nice braided look to everything in the engine bay. Pretty much use it for everything. And you can see here, got everything wrapped in it, and it just looks really nice. So, but that's done, and I'm gonna go ahead and touch on the vacuum routing real quick before we put the elbow on. You won't be able to see it anymore, so I'll go ahead and touch on that real quick. Now this will be different for every truck, depending what emission stuff you still have. If you still have your evap stuff, we do not, etc. So you have to come up with stuff kind of on your own, which is basically what I did. But it's pretty easy. You have this line here that goes into the cab. It's your boost reference line, and that attaches to the mid plate. One of the lines from the boost reference will attach to the boost bypass solenoid there. You attach it to the top portion. The bottom one you leave vent to atmosphere. And then I ran a new line also from the mid plate because the elbow has 2 ports. We ran a new line around the back all the way around to this side, and this is going to attach to our fuel pressure regulator for the boost sensitive regulator, so it can adjust for boost and give you the amount of fuel you need. So a new line ran across there, and then we have a line ran from this port here on the blower. That line's going to run over here and connect to this guy here. So that's pretty much it. Of course, I got my catch can attached to this port here. There's a port on the back of the blower that we capped off. You will have your evap if you still have it. You can attach that to one of the ports on the elbow. What else do you have? Your brake booster attached to the other port on the elbow. And then before the throttle body, when you have your throttle body on, in your intake tube, you need to put your driver's side PCV in that, and then the other tube is your IAC into that. And let's go ahead and take the stuff out of this blower and put this elbow on finally. Now that I'm all done and this is all buttoned up, we can get this elbow on. All right guys, as you can see, we've made quite a bit of progress. This is not bolted in yet. I just kind of have it there so I can show you guys what it's going to look like. I know I've shown you guys this before, but if you're new, this is what the intake setup will look like. The reason why I can't bolt this in quite yet is because, as you can see, it's got a port there already, and that's where I will bring my IAC from this side, from the IAC valve. I'll run a line over and put it right into there. But the other side that has this little vacuum port that I won't be using, but I am going to need another vacuum port that's bigger to run my driver's side PCV to. So, because like I said, before the throttle body, you have your idle air control valve you'll have to run there, and your driver's side PCV. So we'll have to modify this tube. Basically all I'm going to have to do is take that vacuum reference out, drill it out a little bigger, get another barbed fitting like that, and put it in there. But yeah, super simple, easy fix. But yeah, throttle body's bolted down. As you can see, this thing is huge, ready to suck up a small child. It is ridiculous. Got the plug for the IAC all plugged in. You can see that reached just fine. Looks really nice and clean. Ran our throttle cable and our cruise control cable to the throttle bracket that I've showed you guys in a previous video. That came out really nice and fits really good. You can see super stable. You can push on that, it ain't going nowhere. And that's because I welded this top bracket in and used the top bolt hole there. You can see there, so that's bolted there. This is a piece of steel that I welded to this tab here to add that support. So it's nice and stable, so there's no flex when you're giving it any gas. That's good to go. All right, so it's actually the next day, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get the fitting that I needed in order to get the intake setup in and get the swap all finished up. But I was able to overnight the fitting, Amazon, good old Amazon, and the intake setup is in and everything is pretty much all finished up. So without further ado, let me show you guys the finished result of the swap and we'll get into it. But before we get into the rest of the video, guys, I wanted to take a quick second and give a shout out to this channel's sponsor. That's JC Customs CNC. He makes all kinds of badass billet parts specifically for our trucks as well as other platforms. I am currently rocking the JC Customs billet pulley bridge. You can see that there. That thing is absolutely beautiful. It is basically the centerpiece of my truck now, and I love this thing. It also has adjustability on this pulley, has a slot so you can adjust your pulley up and down, and this is a huge upgrade over the stock pulley routing. It really increases the belt wrap, reducing belt slip, and it just looks awesome. I got some of his billet pulleys down here as well. You can see them there. The mid plate that allows us to use this blower is from JC Customs. This whole swap is able to happen because of JC Customs, but specifically he makes billet mid plates so you can adapt any blower, as well as for the stock blower, just to improve airflow with built-in spacers, all kinds of stuff, guys. On my stock setup, I was rocking his EGR delete kits. He has all kinds of styles and designs for that. Gen 2 billet door handles, I'll put those up on the screen. You can see he can do badass billet door handles for the Gen 2 Lightnings, notorious for having issues. He makes awesome door handles, all kinds of stuff, guys. I will put a link in the description. Make sure you go check him out. And if you use code Debtlife during checkout, you will save 10% off your entire order. That is a game changer. So guys, so make sure you go check him out. Use code Debtlife to save some cash. Pick up some awesome billet parts for your ride. He can make anything, guys, like I said, and he makes a bunch of stuff already for our trucks with even more stuff in the works. So go check him out, guys. Use code Debtlife, save some cash, and let's get back into this video. Alright, so as you can see, everything is in. I got the intake setup in. I did have to modify the elbow because basically it had one large fitting and then it had like a small vacuum reference fitting over here. So I had to drill that out, get another one of these and put it on the other side. That way I can run my idle air control valve to one side and my driver's side PCV to the other. The only reason those aren't hooked up is because I'm waiting for these quick connectors to come in. I ordered 2 of these. It's basically gonna clip right onto there, but instead it's a 90. That way I can run the lines a little cleaner and not have them just come straight across in the middle of the engine bay. So that's gonna be nice. Yeah, these should be here this Friday. But besides those 2 lines being actually hooked up, this is 100% done. Oh, I obviously need the belt, but I mean, I figured that's obvious. I even have belts over there that I'm gonna try. Just need to simply measure, see the size I need, either use what I got or order a new belt. But besides that, everything else is hooked up. We actually ran our idle air control valve line. You can see it here. It comes underneath the blower there, behind the radiator hose. See right there. And it's gonna come to that fitting, up into the 90. Our driver's side PCV, same thing, it's there. And we're just waiting for that 90-degree fitting for the other side, so we can just go straight up into that 90, and then we are 100% done. I think it came out really nice. You can see my MAF extension I got here. This is really nice. I got this from VMP actually, and what this does is instead of having to cut and splice your MAF harness, this is an adapter. Plugs straight into your MAF connector. This is the same thing that hooks up to your stock MAF. Has the connector for that and the new connector for the slot style MAF. So it's a nice little adapter you can buy. I think it was kind of pricey, it was like 50 bucks, but I did not want to cut and splice my stock MAF harness. This is nice because if I ever want to go back to stock, I simply unclip this and everything's back to normal. So that's pretty nice, and it's really nice quality too. It's awesome. So I did that, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the swap, like I said, is pretty much done. This is the final result. I'm really happy with how clean everything came out. Got plenty of room to work here. I can probably even do my plugs with the intake elbow on, even though I won't. That's why I went with these quick connectors. Figured it would make taking the intake off a lot easier. Don't have to worry about hose clamps or, you know, pulling hose off of barbs or anything like that. This is super easy. It's basically a clip and it pulls right off. So that'll make that super quick. So it'd be 2 quick connects, a hose clamp, and the intake comes off, and I can have access to everything. This side is a little messy. but there's really not much I can do about it. Like I said, this is the idle air control valve that's kind of tucked out of the way. This is kind of a little bit of a mess, but it's not too bad. I did decide to leave my catch can here because I know if I route it somewhere else and hide it, I'll honestly forget about it. It'll be an out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, and I'll never remember to empty it. So I'll leave it right there, and it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't clutter it up too much. And if I ever have to do plugs or something on this side, it's easy enough to just take that screw out and move it out of the way. I can even unplug it because I have a quick connector on my PCV, so I can undo the quick connect, move it out of the way, do what I gotta do, put it back. Of course, fuel lines are kind of necessary, but that's pretty much it. It's not too bad. Came out really clean. And the only other thing I forgot to mention and talk about is the coolant tank. So I guess I'm not 100% done. I guess 100% done is 100%. It's like 99% done. I have an idea of what I'm gonna do for the coolant tank. I'm just basically waiting so I can get up to the junkyard. I'm gonna use a junk one first, make sure it fits, make sure it mounts the way I want, and then I'll order a brand new one after I know the year, the make, and the model that I'm gonna need for sure. But I have some ideas. Basically gonna use the one from a newer F-150. They mount kind of in this area, and this is exactly where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it right here. Basically use this as the mount, and it should sit about right in this area here. The stock coolant tank did not fit back in here. It kind of does, but it's really crammed, and I think I'm going to do something with this filter anyways. I'm thinking about getting a longer filter. I think they sell, this is a 5" by 7. I think they sell 5" by 9s, and that'll extend it out to about right here. And then I'm also going to fab up a cold air box for this, kind of like a heat shield, but it's also going to go underneath. Basically bring it to this point, and then I can do my JLP ram air tube into the bottom of that. But that's all down the road. For now, I just want to focus on getting this thing moving under its own power again and running. The cold air box is not critical. These trucks do not really need cold air. More air is more important. You want air volume over air temperature. That's a whole nother debate for a whole nother video, but this will work just fine, and this will be drivable. So that's what we're focusing on. This is just projects for down the road as far as the longer filter and the cold air box and stuff like that. That's all ideas and projects for down the road, but we're pretty much 99% done with this. I can't wait. We're gonna go to the junkyard this weekend, pick up a coolant tank, make sure it's gonna work, order a new one. I'll probably do my belt by this weekend. The fittings will be in this weekend. This will be 100% this weekend. It's like 99% now, but to me, it's 100% because the freaking blower's on, everything's bolted up. This could run if I wanted it to today. So to me, this is 100% done. But yeah, guys, I'm super happy with how this came out. I'm pretty stoked. I can't wait to get started on doing that stuff to the 4x4 build. So make sure you stay tuned. We are going to put all the stock Lightning parts. I get asked this all the time in my DMs. I'm not selling any of my old parts because all of this stock stuff is going to be going on my black 4x4. I have an 03 FX4, so that's going to be going on that. So no, this is not for sale. I get asked that all the time. Not for sale. I'm going to be swapping this into my 4x4 and doing a Lightning overlanding build, and all kinds of videos to come with that too. So just more content for you guys. That's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think of the final result of the swap and how I did everything and how everything came out below in the comments. Even if it's, you know, constructive criticism, you don't like it, let me know. I'm all ears. I'm open to any opinions and, you know, ideas you guys may have, but I am super stoked with how everything came out. I can't wait to get this thing tuned, moving under its own power again, out of my freaking garage so I can clean and tidy up. Man, things have become a mess with this swap because this thing's just been sitting in the way this whole time. But anyways, guys, super stoked with how it came out. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you like the video, if you like the content. Make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel, you subscribe for more. Plenty more Lightning content to come. We're now getting into the nitty gritty, the good stuff. The racing's coming, dyno videos, all kinds of stuff, guys. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.